Hi, I'm Owen Video. I'm a YouTube and a live video marketing consultant. You know, my clients have big dreams. They have huge goals. My clients want to go out into the world and create massive impact. But they have a problem. They simply don't know how to use video and YouTube and live video in a way that's effective and in a way that gets results. And that's why I come alongside them to help them on their mission. You know, God called me to this work while I was working at Christian radio. And believe it or not, at the time, I wasn't even a believer. In fact, I was very much a person of the world, but I knew that I needed something more. I wanted something more meaningful and deep out of life. So when I heard an advertisement on Christian radio that said, hey, we're looking for salespeople, I answered the ad and I got the job. Now, it was through that Christian radio station that I ended up meeting my wife. And it was through meeting my wife who eventually gave me a video about Jesus that I ended up sitting alone in my dad's basement watching this video about Jesus. And this video explained to me my fallen nature. And this video explained to me the redemptive power of Jesus Christ. And that night, alone and sobbing, I gave my life to the Lord. The next day I woke up and I knew that I was changed. I didn't know what it was called. I later heard of this term called born again. But it was that morning that I committed my life to Jesus and to video. Since then, I've made over 1,000 videos for my clients. I've made hundreds of videos for my own social media platforms, including the breakout hit, The Sin Collar, which I made as a sermon illustration, and that video has been seen all over the world. It's got a very important message, and it's a lot of fun, and I'm going to show you that video right now. Let's play it.
Do you sin? Have you ever lied? Have you ever stolen? Have you ever lusted? Boy, do we have a product for you!
Hey everyone, I'm Rob Shazam, and if you're a sinner like the rest of us, then you probably want to get to heaven. Well, we have the answer for you. Don't worry about all the religion, all the lifestyle changes, all the grace. You need Shazam, the Sin Collar. 14 inches of adjustable sin protection with an electrified sin meter just in case you start sinning even a little. The Sin Collar will always keep you from a sinful situation, no matter that you are quite naturally a sinful person. That's right, friends. You don't have to worry about sin anymore. The Sin Collar is your one step to heaven with 25,000 volts of electrified salvation. The Sin Collar is bound to stop you before offending the Almighty God. So don't worry about that midday addiction. Don't make excuses when you're late. Your Savior from thieving hands. And don't even think about being an adulterer at heart. Because Shazam! The Sin Collar will stop you. Come on, you're a good person. You've always been nice to people. Your past sin won't ever matter. Just start anew with this man-made device, designed specifically to work against your very nature. The Sin Collar is your very first step to a new redeemed life, destined for heaven. But don't just take my word for it. Shazam!
The Sin Collar really works. I used to have a hard time with sinning, but now if I even think about sinning, the Sin Collar sends 25,000 volts of electricity through my protein-based nervous system, devastating any chance for normal bodily development. And even though I can no longer control my bowels, I am positive that I'm getting into heaven. Thank you, Sin Collar.
We are so thrilled to start our child on the Sin Collar.
No kid of mine's gonna be a sinner.
We're so thrilled.
The Sin Collar has been an amazing success. I don't have to ask for help around the house anymore. He never looks at other women, and he never ever speaks harshly to me. In fact, he barely speaks at all. That's enough, honey. Thank you, Sin Collar.
That's right, friends. Your life can change for the better with this revolutionary device designed to counter your basic urges. You'll no longer crave unhealthy habits, rid yourself of foul language, never be tempted to do anything ever again. And with our new dream setting, the sin collar can even stop you from sinning in your sleep. Never let the data input from living in a sinful world affect your sleep again. When your dirty thoughts come a-creeping in, Shazam! The sin collar goes to work. Order now with your credit card or write Sin Collar, 2345 Maple Road, New York, New York. The Sin Collar is not guaranteed to get you into heaven and should not be worn by biblical Christians. Sin Collar has been known to cause cancer and will send you directly to hell. Don't wait. Call now to order yours today. Tell them Rob Shazam sent you. Shazam!
Now, that's a lot of fun, and video is a ton of fun. It's also a very powerful tool for getting your message out to your congregation and to the community. But you've probably felt a problem with video in that it's very time consuming to produce. It's very hard to get a high quality video produced. It's expensive. There's a lot of tools that you have to get. Getting people to show up and be in your video takes a lot of time and energy and effort. And to be, real straightforward with you, those are resources that you have to pull away from other ministries like your homeless outreach or your marriage ministry. And so pre-recorded high quality video can really drain a church and its resources. And that's why it's my vision and it's my mission to see churches like yours using live video marketing to grow your message, to communicate with the community, and to fill your churches. With live video, you eliminate 90% of the problems that come with pre-recorded video. Live video is easy, it's affordable, and it's effective. In fact, with live video, you can stream high quality video to the web in just the push of a button. You can stream from your mobile device or from your desktop computer. With live video, there's no editing or post-production work. You just stream and go. Live video also ranks faster on Google. But perhaps the most exciting part of live video marketing is the engagement that you will get from your viewers. With live video, you're live on the web. You can receive real-time comments and feedbacks. You can answer people in real time. And this type of engagement is exactly what's missing from the American church. We show up on Sundays, right, ready for our sermons that we spend all week preparing, and every now and then maybe we've got a midweek sermon that we're prepared for, but the church doesn't see or hear from us at all in between. Oh, social media is evil. It's the devil. There's sin out on social media. So the church has abandoned it. And in return, the youth have abandoned church. We need live video to be relevant to this culture. The youth is not walking away from church. We are pushing them out with outdated, archaic messages. By not embracing the new culture. Can you imagine if when the printing press came out, Christians were like, oh, stay away from the printing press, right? It's evil. But what was the first book printed with the printing press? The Gutenberg Bible. It's a shame that more churches have not embraced live video because of what else is out there. YouTube is filled with nonsense because the church isn't producing anything. We've got to produce live video to engage this culture and to become a part of their daily lives. That's how we become relevant again. Just imagine streaming your sermons on Sunday. Imagine streaming your church announcements throughout the week. Imagine streaming a daily message of encouragement. Imagine streaming an apologetic message that steers a young person away from a false belief and to the embracing arms of Christ. That's a message that we should be down for. And in this presentation today, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little emotional. I hope that's okay with you guys. And in today's presentation, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 easy ways to go live on YouTube, and I'm going to share with you sort of the pluses and the minuses of each different tactic so that you can find the tactic that works best for you. Some of you have high quality, amazing audio systems, audio video systems. Some of you, like my very first church, the church where I got saved, Calvary Salt Lake, we had like 1 camera and a soundboard, right? But with YouTube Live, you can broadcast your message in a variety of ways, and you don't need any fancy equipment. If you do have fancy equipment, it'll help, okay? But I'm going to share with you 3 ways to go live, some pluses and minuses of each system, and then I'm going to give you an idea for how you could use that to grow your church. Now, if you're ready, say yeah. Or type it into the comment section, right? Let me know that you're out there. I want to feel that you're alive and vibrant. So type yeah into the comment section, or praise the Lord, or Jesus reigns. Type something into the comment section, and we're going to get started with YouTube Live for churches. Okay, so the first way to go live from YouTube is using a brand new feature called Live Stream Camera. Now, this is a feature that's available on desktop, and it works with your laptop or your desktop computer the way it is now. Now, in my personal opinion, using a Mac is just the best way to go because Mac has everything sort of already built in. It's kind of hard to customize, so it doesn't really get too many viruses, and it's really easy to manage. But even using a PC that has a built-in camera, or if you have an external camera, I like to use a Logitech C920 camera. These are amazing cameras and really do deliver a powerful punch. I use it with my Mac, for example. All you have to do is open up your computer and you're basically good to go. You'll log into YouTube, and in the upper right-hand section, you'll notice this little icon. You'll have 2 options. Now, you notice on my computer I have 3 options because I have a bigger account, right? I'm very, very important. And I have some additional features because I've been uploading for so long. And I've got that. But we're going to focus on you've got this upload a video, and you've got, this live stream key, this button right here. You're going to press that live stream button, and you'll see this new window appear out of nowhere. Okay, so in this new window, you can add your title. And your title is very, very important, okay? Because your title is the first thing that the YouTube algorithm, the YouTube robots are going to read. And based on what your title is, maybe your title is, how to speak about Islam. Maybe your title is why Jesus loves you. Maybe your title is a study on 1 Corinthians, right? Whatever your title is, that's going to tell YouTube sort of like where to put your video and who they should show it to, right? So your title is very important. Make sure that you're using a lot of keyword-rich titles, words that people are going to search for. So if your sermon's about, 1 Corinthians, you may not want to call it something like, Paul and his thoughts from prison, right? Because that's not no one's searching for that. But you may want to call it, expository study of 1 Corinthians, right? That is something more likely that someone's going to search, right? Or just like, study on 1 Corinthians. That's going to be more likely something someone's going to type into the. So with your titles, be more direct. And front facing, as opposed to being artistic and creative, right? Which I know a lot of pastors like to do. You might do a sermon called fearless, embracing a lost culture, right? And these are great for Sunday sermons, but when you put that onto the web, you may want to call it something that people are actually going to search for. So think about that. You're going to put in your title here, and you're going to enter in a few more steps here. A lot of this is really not incredibly necessary, okay? But you'll learn how to do it. I don't want to spend too much time with it today. You'll go through a couple quick steps here. Just follow the steps and go through it. It only takes about a minute. Click Next. Now, on the next step, you'll smile for a custom thumbnail. Now, you can replace this later, and this is actually one of the downsides to this system here, is that you can't upload a thumbnail. Your thumbnail is the visual representation of your video on YouTube, and it's very important for getting attention and getting clicks onto your video. So it's unfortunate that we're not able to upload a custom, graphically designed professional thumbnail, but you can go back and upload those later. As you're just getting started, you're about to go live, the whole purpose of this whole system is that it's easy, right? So you take a quick picture, you smile, that becomes your thumbnail, and now you're ready to go live. You can see on the right-hand side of the screen here, you've got a place for comments. Down underneath, you can sort of adjust your settings. You can share the video, so even while you're live, you can click that share button, and you can share it on Facebook, Twitter, in your email, all throughout the web, okay? And as soon as you press live, you're live on the internet. When you're done, you hit end, and you're done. Now, let's talk about some pluses and minuses of using live stream camera, okay? The major plus side here is that live stream camera is super easy. With like 2 clicks, you're live streaming on the web. You need absolutely no gear other than your laptop computer, or if you're on a desktop, maybe like a webcam. But most computers today have microphones built into them. If you don't have a microphone built into your computer, it's probably time for like a new computer, right? Because they've been making them this way for like 10 years now. You know, bite the bullet, right, and get something a little bit more modern. And almost everybody's got a webcam now. So very easy to go live. Some of the downsides of using live stream camera is that you're not able to invite anybody. So this is a one-to-many environment, right? You're not able to bring on a guest and interview a guest unless they're live with you right there, right? So you're not able to like have anybody call in or do anything like that. You're not able to optimize your SEO right off the bat. And if you're going live for an hour or two, you know, which is entirely possible if you're going to live stream a sermon or a message. It's helpful to be able to do some SEO optimization, but you're not able to do that with this camera right off the bat. You can go back in and do some of that stuff a little bit later on. And as I mentioned before, you're not able to upload custom thumbnails. But if your objective is to deliver a message, a one-to-many message, and you want zero tech to get in your way, Livestream Now is a fantastic tool for doing that. So let's take a look at a use case scenario. And here's my big idea for using Livestream camera for your church. Have each ministry leader broadcast a tip for living a Christian life, for reading the Bible, or even for being more impactful in the community. Have each leader broadcast a tip or preview an upcoming message using live streaming camera one time per week. So imagine how powerful that could be, where each of your main ministry leaders, maybe it's your head pastor, your men's ministry, your women's ministry, your marriage ministry, your missions ministry, your homeless ministry, whatever your big ones are. Really, maybe not even your big ones, but any ministry leader who's willing to do it. Okay, but your basics are required, right? You require your head pastor, your youth pastor, your middle school pastor to broadcast a tip or preview their message one time per week. If you've got 4 pastors on your team, that's 4 live stream videos per week. If each of those gets, 1,000 views by the end of the month, that's 4,000 views. If each of those messages are 10 minutes, that's 40,000 minutes of watch time, of Christ-centered watch time that you've put on the internet. That's 40,000 hours. That's an hour that, or 20 minutes that we didn't have to watch MasterChef or some other secular TV show. but it was spent watching you talk about the Lord. Very, very powerful tool. Okay, let's talk about tip number 2 in going live on YouTube. This is actually, it's not like my favorite one, but I love this method, and that is going live directly from your mobile device. Now, I did a video on this as soon as this feature came out, I did a video on it, and it was one of my most popular videos for a very, very long time. Going live on your mobile device is super, super easy. You don't need a computer, you don't need a desktop, you don't need any fancy equipment. Unless you want to get like a cool microphone for your webcam or excuse me, for your mobile device. We definitely would recommend that. In fact, there are 3 big tools that we recommend. We recommend having a custom, like an iPhone lavalier microphone, and we recommend having a tripod to hold your iPhone steady. And in some cases, we might recommend having just like a little pocket light, right? It's a light that sort of connects right. This is only if it's in a darker area, right? And you really you can't see your face, but you want to deliver a message. It's a good idea to have a light on handy with you. But for the most part, all you need is your mobile device. And what you do on your mobile device is you're going to go into your YouTube account as so. From your YouTube, you're going to go to the same area to the top of the screen. You're going to click on this button that says Go Live Now. And this is very much like live stream camera. You're going to walk through a couple steps here. You're going to pose for a thumbnail picture, right? And again, you can always go back and change this later. The thumbnail picture that you'll take with your camera is not amazing, okay? It's not gonna be this amazing thumbnail that people are just gonna kind of, go gaga over. But it's a feature that you have. Now, here's a super tip, okay? What I've done and what I've seen some of my colleagues do is they'll actually make the high quality thumbnail on their computer. And then when YouTube Mobile asks them to smile for the thumbnail picture, they'll take a picture of that custom thumbnail. And that gives you a better looking thumbnail until your live stream is over and you can go back and you can upload a custom thumbnail. Okay, so that's like sort of like a super hack, right, in getting that done. So like I said, you'll run through a couple steps and within moments, you'll be live streaming from your mobile device directly to the web. And you'll be able to see your comments pop up if you're holding the camera, what they call, here's some advice, guys, side to side so it's wide. Always go live this way, widescreen, okay? You never want to go live like this, right? Unless you're on Instagram or another platform. But on YouTube, you want to go side to side so that it's wide. And then you'll see your comments pop up on the left-hand side of the screen. Okay, and then from that screen, you can answer and engage with people. You've also got this filters section. And in the filters section, you can sort of press different buttons and it will do a different overlay for you. And again, it's kind of a fun tool, but a great way to engage your audience, and especially if you're a youth pastor or even a high school pastor, right? Like you could be using these filters to just like communicate a message to your audience and to just show some personality in your live stream. But again, you don't have to use them. These are just tools that are available for you, okay? Let's talk about some of the plus sides to live streaming from mobile. Again, it's super, super, super easy. Very easy to get up and running. Whether it's Android or iPhone, you log into the app and you go. Very, very easy to use. You only need simple tools to get really high quality audio and video, right? Use a tripod, maybe use a custom microphone. And if you don't want to get a custom microphone, just stand close to the camera, right? Stand close to your mobile device and you'll be just fine. You've got some fun filters. You can be looking at comments. And you'll be able to optimize your video right from the mobile device. So some of that SEO value, you'll be able to add that into your video from your mobile device before you even go live. Now, some of the downsides to live stream mobile is you're not able to use custom thumbs. You can't upload custom thumbs until later, which I've already sort of talked about. And then, of course, you're not able to pre-schedule any events. It would be great if you could kind of go on your phone, pre-schedule an event, and then go live tomorrow or next week or whatever the case might be. Now, that feature to pre-schedule is available in the third and final live stream platform that I'm going to talk about. And we're going to get to that in just a second. But first, I want to talk about a best case use scenario, right? So a best use scenario for YouTube mobile, and this is going to knock your socks off, so bring it in, okay? Bring it in. Here's how I recommend using Livestream Mobile for your church. Using Livestream Mobile, have one of your head pastors answer questions from the audience at least one time per week. Now, at my last church, I started a program called Ask the Pastors, and this was a live event that we did inside the coffee shop, and it was very, very simple. It's very, very easy to do, but we basically invited the church to come in and ask their apologetic or faith questions. We invited atheists to come in and ask a bunch of questions and that sort of thing. Of course, very few of them actually showed up, but this is where, with YouTube mobile, you don't need to have a coffee shop live event, right? You can actually do this from your mobile device, and your pastor can advertise in your church bulletins, right? Hey, join us live every Thursday night for Ask the Pastor, and you can ask me any question you want about church, love, sex, marriage, war, politics, anything, right? And imagine how powerful this is when you're, for your church to go out and say, we're going to answer questions about politics on YouTube Live. We're going to go out and answer questions about sex on YouTube Live. Imagine what this can do. And of course, I'm not trying to get, all Mark Driscoll-y on you or anything like that. And of course, we love Mark Driscoll for what he's done in the past. But he wrote some books, right? He wrote a book that was kind of like, wow, like what's this guy talking about? Here's where I want to impress upon you is they actually talked about it, right? You don't think that there's youth in your church that just don't understand why they can't make love, have sex with their girlfriends? You don't think that you don't have divorced adults sort of fraternizing around in your church? You're kidding yourself. You're kidding yourself. Use YouTube mobile to hit the hard topics. And these folks, these people can ask from the anonymity of their own homes. Right? They don't have to come out and say, oh, by the way, Pastor, I'm struggling with sin. Can you, I have a marijuana problem. Can we talk about that? You know what I mean? You don't have to do that. They can ask from a mobile device. You can even set up like an easy form on your website. Use Google Forms or whatever, or these free tools, and have them pre-ask their questions ahead of time. So you sit there, and I do this for a company I stream for called TubeBuddy. They're a YouTube plugin. I highly recommend downloading the TubeBuddy plugin. This will help you optimize and pick good keywords. In fact, you can get a full 30 days, all the premium tools for just a penny if you use the link that's on your screen right now. Very, very good tool. I stream for them on their channel. And this is exactly what we do. We ask all of our questions ahead of time to our YouTube community, and then we answer those questions on our live streams. I highly recommend you do the same thing with your church. What are your thoughts on that? Right? What are your thoughts? If you're sitting next to somebody at your church or at your house, stop for a minute and talk about that. What do you think about that idea? Answering questions. Or let me know in the comment section right now. I'd love to hear from you on that. Okay, we're going to go into the third and final section, right, which is using the traditional YouTube platform called Livestream Now to broadcast a high-quality message where you can invite guests to come on the show with you, or you can use a professional encoder to stream third-party video. You can invite guests this way as well. We have a program, we use vMix. It's very, very complicated. It's tech heavy, but if you've got an amazing AV ministry at your church, YouTube's Livestream Now platform is going to be amazing for you. Let's take a look at what that looks like. So you're looking at YouTube Livestream Now, and you access this by going to the upper right-hand side of your YouTube page. you click on Creator Studio, and then you'll click on Live Streaming. And you'll notice that you have a few different options here. You can create an event, or you can live stream now. You can go live right now. Now, if you want to go live right now, this is a little bit more complex than live stream camera, okay? Because you're able to add tags, you can add a custom thumbnail, you can even pre-schedule this for like, I mean, really you could do it a day or two in advance, but really it's like a half an hour or an hour in advance. And you know, you've got all of those features right here. If you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see a place that says your stream key. This is I'm not going to show you mine. This is a private stream key number. This is the number you're going to enter into your encoder when you want to go live. Now, if you don't know what those things are, you need to bring in your AV guy, okay? If you don't have an AV guy, then Livestream Now is not going to be the platform for you. You're going to want to look at the other two platforms. This is a professional way to live stream. In fact, back in 2008, when this platform first launched, YouTube was the first company to live stream the 2008 presidential debate, any presidential debate for that matter. YouTube was the first to have it live streamed. They also used this platform to live stream the Bill Nye versus Ken Ham, which was the evolutionism versus creation debate. Phenomenal thing. We had friends come over. We were watching with popcorn. We had like big foam Ken Ham fingers. It was awesome. This was all done through this platform. Okay, so you can go live right now, or you can create an event. When you create an event, YouTube gives you the option to use your own encoder, which means they say, hey, look, we're going to let you use your own tools. So if you've got your own tools, you can maybe add some video, you can add, maybe some images, maybe you want to screen share, you can do sort of all those things. But they also give you another option called Google Hangouts or Hangouts on Air. And with Hangouts on Air, you're essentially using YouTube's own platform called Google Hangouts. There used to be a whole thing called Google Hangouts. It no longer exists. It was a total flop. But YouTube kept the technology and they call it Hangouts on Air. With Hangouts on Air, you get the ability to bring guests into your live stream. You can have up to 25 guests inside your live stream, and they can ask questions. They can be on the air with you. They can be watching as sort of an audience, and you can have people watching live on the internet, right? So you can have sort of like a live studio audience there with you. You can also share your desktop screen, and you don't need any fancy equipment. You just use Google Hangouts on Air. This platform, Livestream Now, is designed for techies. This is designed for someone who has an AV ministry. This is designed for somebody with a 3-camera system. And essentially what you do is you are plugging in your board to YouTube. And then you're just using your board to switch and to do all the work, okay? That's who this is designed for. It's also designed for someone who wants to screen share and do some fun things, right? But you're a little techie, but not totally techie, and that's what the Live Hangout on Air is for. A lot of upsides to learning Livestream Now. Number one, you can use an encoder, which gives you a ton of options. You can pre-schedule your events. You can fully optimize your videos before you go live. You can add custom thumbnails before you go live. You can also use Google Hangouts on Air, which allows you to have a live studio audience. You can invite people into your live stream broadcast to even interact and ask questions with you, as long as they have a webcam and a microphone as well. And you've got all of you've got all of those functionalities. So it's a pretty great system. Some of the downsides to Livestream Now is it's a little bit more complicated. Okay, you're going to need to understand some of the language, or at least be willing to do some trial and error tests. The other downside is, even if you are a tech person and this stuff is totally fine for you, you're very comfortable in this space, as I am, then it just takes more time, right? Because you fully optimize, you add thumbnails, right? It's not like 2 clicks and you're live. It does take some additional clicks to go live, so it might take you a little bit longer to get up and running, even if you're an experienced tech person, right? It's just going to take 20 minutes versus live stream camera, which takes 2 minutes. Make sense? Okay, so Let's talk about a best use case scenario for YouTube's live stream now. And this is gonna knock your socks off. You ready? Use live stream now to broadcast your main sermons on the web live every Sunday. I know, you're like, what? Obviously I'm kidding, because this is the most common use of live stream video in churches. But what I've shown you today is 3 different ways to go live. And with 3 different ways to go live, you can go live with a different type of message that keeps you very closely connected to your congregation and your community through the week. So you use live stream now to broadcast your Sunday and your midweek sermons to people that are at home or on their mobile devices. The video will be up on the web for all time, and they'll be able to access them, and you could send people to Pat. You could use your church newsletter to sort of say, hey, check out our sermon last week. It's on YouTube. A lot of churches already doing this. Not a lot of churches doing it like with regularity. We need more churches to do this, okay? Use live stream now to broadcast your main sermons. Use live stream mobile to answer questions throughout the week. So you go live on Sunday with your main message, and then maybe on Monday you go live on mobile to let people ask questions about your sermon. You know, how many times have you ever heard a pastor, or a speaker say something and you're like, hey, I got a question. I know I have. Use YouTube Live from mobile to answer those questions, to get that sermon out there and in their heads and in their hearts. But you can also use YouTube mobile to answer questions about cultural issues that maybe for financial reasons or other reasons you just don't cover from the pulpit, right? And then maybe we use live stream camera to preview our messages for the week, right? And when you have each major ministry leader using that system to engage with the audience, to engage with your congregation. And that's why live stream is so valuable, because there's lots of different ways to use it. There are lots of different ways to implement it at every skill level, from the beginner to the advanced AV professional, right? Maybe it should have gone bottom to top, right? The beginner to the advanced AV professional. You can be using these in your churches, and you should be using these in your churches. Because imagine that you start live streaming and now you're engaging your congregation and your community 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 times a week instead of just on Sunday. Imagine having full chairs, full seats at your AM service, because your audience has been engaged with you all week. They've been hearing from you. They saw a preview. They know what this sermon's about. I'm checking my mic. So they came to watch. They came to hear the message. Imagine those full seats become tithe payers. And through that tithe, you're able to now finance community outreach, homeless ministries, missions. Imagine that a mom comes up to you on Sunday and says, thank you for that live stream video, because we almost lost our daughter. Our daughter almost walked away from the faith until we saw your live stream video that educated her, that answered her questions, that got real with her. And now she's back, firmly planted in our family and in this church. Ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly my story for you. I came to Christ from a life that ignored Christ, that followed my own passions and my own desires. And after I came to know the Lord, I fell in love with video. And at one point, my church asked me to do a presentation on apologetics and the reasons why we believe. You guys should all know what apologetics is. Well, we live streamed those videos on the web, and they're on the web to this day. And I had a mother come up to me, brand new to our church, and she said, "We almost lost our daughter." And we're talking about a solid Christian family, folks. 7 kids, they're all homeschooled, dad's a cop, mom stays at home, right? This is a solid Christian family, right? All organic type of family, grow their own food types, you know. But their oldest daughter was being courted by one of her friends who was in a false faith. And the daughter didn't see any difference between this false faith and our faith. But her parents remembered that sermon, and they went to the internet, they looked it up, and they sat down with their daughter and they watched it with her. And the Holy Spirit worked and brought that girl back home. Imagine the stories that God wants to create in your church. Start using live video. Here's how. You can hire me. I'm Owen at thevideospot.net. My company is thevideospot.net. We help companies, churches, thought leaders, business leaders, executives use live video to broadcast their message. You can hire me to consult with your church to help you get set up. You can fly me out to do the setup for you. And I can answer every question in between. I want to encourage you to follow me. I want to encourage you to follow my ministries on Facebook. We have one ministry called The Christian Perspective, and this is where we broadcast our Christian perspective. I want to encourage you to follow me on social media. You can follow me at Owen Video, and that's where you'll follow me directly. But I also want to encourage you to follow my ministries. My wife and I have a marriage ministry called Thriving Sexy Marriage. And we have another media ministry called The Christian Perspective, where we analyze sort of the news of the day from a Christian perspective. And hopefully we'll get all of those in my bio so it'll be easier to click. I hope you guys follow me. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. We'll see you next time.